Ever wish you could just walk into a job interview and know exactly what they're looking for?
Yeah, who hasn't?
Well, that's what we're doing today, going deep, really deep into this whole world of electrical supervisors.
Oh my
And we
God.
got some awesome resources from RoleCatcher, this cool AI-powered tool
That's right.
that's going to help give us an edge and hopefully help you guys get that dream job.
Yeah, it's going to be great. We've got all these career guides and interview guides, even info on their AI. And we're going to really focus on some of those really tricky interview questions, give you some insights and even some sample answers you can kind of tailor to fit yourself.
Yeah, I'm excited to jump into those.
Should be good.
But first, before we even get there, I'm kind of curious, what exactly does an electrical supervisor do?
Right. It's a good question.
I mean, it's got to be more than just knowing your circuits, right?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Um, it's kind of this mix of technical know-how and leadership, you know?
Right.
So you're not just the one doing the wiring, you're the one overseeing it all, making sure everything's safe, managing the whole team.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes that team is spread out over a bunch of locations, not just one site.
So you're saying they could be on construction sites, but also maybe in power plants or even working on those, what are they called? The cutting edge?
Oh, like renewable energy projects.
Yeah, all those.
Exactly. Those are definitely becoming more and more common. So yeah, pretty varied.
Wow, that's a lot. No wonder these interviews are so intense.
Yeah, they can be. But that's why we're here, to break it down.
Right, let's do it. So let's say you're sitting in the interview and they hit you with that classic opener. Can you tell us about your experience with electrical systems?
Oh, yeah, that would.
Do you just start listing every single project you've ever worked on?
You could, but honestly, it's less about the quantity and more about, relevance.
Right.
It's got to be impactful, tie it back to what they're actually looking for in this specific job.
So like if they're hiring for someone who's going to work on those industrial installations you mentioned.
Right, exactly. Then you want to make sure you really play up that experience, really highlight those projects. And of course, your education and certifications that are relevant.
That makes sense.
Mm.
But how does this role catcher thing come into play?
Oh, that's the cool part. So their AI, right, it can actually look at the job description and it picks out these keywords, the stuff that the hiring manager is really going to be looking for,
Okay.
And then it suggests how you can work those keywords into your answers. Makes your experience really stand out.
So basically it's like having your own little interview coach.
Right there in your pocket. Exactly.
I like it.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so you nailed that first question. What comes next?
Well, they often want to dig into safety, right?
Makes sense.
So they might ask, how do you ensure compliance with all those electrical codes and regulations?
I feel like a lot of people would just say, I always follow the rules.
Yeah, probably. But that's not going to cut it.
Really?
What?
Why not?
Well, they want to see that you really understand the why behind it all. Safety's not just about checking boxes. It's got to be a priority. So you could mention specific codes like the NEC, the National Electric Code,
Right.
or talk about OSHA regulations.
Okay, so I need to actually name them.
It shows you're on top of it. And you should mention how you stay updated. Like, the codes change, you got to keep learning.
So showing them I'm proactive, not just following blindly.
Exactly. Like, what's your system for making sure everyone's following the rules? You could talk about inspections, safety trainings, that kind of thing.
Right, creating that culture of safety. Okay, I'm getting it. Now what about managing people?
Oh, yeah, they're going to ask about that for sure.
Like, how do you manage and train electrical personnel? Something like that.
Yep, something like that. And it's more than just giving instructions,
Right, because you're the supervisor.
Exactly. It's
Yeah.
leadership. Can you motivate people, mentor them?
Create a good work environment.
All of that. So when you answer, think about how you delegate tasks, give feedback, that kind of stuff.
So instead of just telling them what to do, I'm showing how I actually help them grow.
You got it. You could even mention specific training programs you've run or how you help people discover their strengths.
Right. Okay, that makes sense. But what about when things go wrong? Like, what if they ask, how do you handle conflicts or issues with electrical systems?
Ooh, yeah, that's a good one.
Can I just admit that I don't always have the answers right away?
It's good to be honest, but you also want to show that you're a problem solver.
Like, walk them through my process?
Exactly. How do you identify the problem? What are the risks? And how do you actually implement solutions? And communication's key.
Keeping everyone in the loop.
Exactly. So even if you don't know the answer right off the bat, you're still systematic,
Okay, so I could say something like, first I'd isolate the circuit, then check the diagrams and manuals, and then, make the repair safely and document everything.
Perfect. That shows you know what you're doing, and it leads nicely into those questions where they ask for a specific story.
Oh, yeah, I love those. Like, can you describe a time when you had to troubleshoot a complex electrical issue?
Oh, yeah. They love those.
Should I,
Yeah.
like, have a story ready to go for that one?
It's always good to have a few good anecdotes in your back pocket.
Okay.
Think of a time you really had to use your skills to solve something tricky, you know?
Or maybe where you had to get creative. Think outside the box.
Exactly. And think about how you showed leadership in that situation, you know? Took initiative.
So it's not just about being a good electrician, it's showing I can handle the pressure and be a leader.
Nail on the head. And here's where RoleCatcher comes in again.
Oh, yeah.
Their AI can actually analyze your story, tell you how to make it even more impactful.
Wow, it's like a personal storyteller and editor all in one.
It takes the guesswork out of it, helps you really connect with those hiring managers.
Okay, one more question before we move on.
Okay.
What about all the new technology coming out?
Oh, yeah, that's huge right now.
So if they ask something like, how do you stay up to date with the latest electrical technologies and trends?
Right.
Can I just talk about all the cool gadgets I read about online?
It's great that you're interested, but they want to see that you're engaged professionally.
So I need to step it up a notch.
A little bit. Mention industry publications, conferences, workshops, you know.
Yeah?
Maybe even professional organizations like NACA or IBUW,
Those are
National Electrical Contractors Association, and International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers. Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Being part of those groups shows you're serious about your career.
So instead of just saying, I watched a YouTube video about solar panels, I can say I'm part of this community that's actively working on renewable energy systems.
Now you're talking. That shows you're committed to staying ahead of the curve.
Right. Okay, I'm getting it. So it's all about showing them I'm not just an electrician. I'm a professional who's passionate about this field and wants to grow with it.
That's the ticket. You're not just there for a job, you're there for a career.
Exactly. And RoleCatcher can help with all of that, right?
Every step of the way.
Ah.
From crafting those perfect answers to connecting you with the right resources.
Okay, I'm convinced I need to check this out.
You definitely should. It's a game changer.
Awesome. Now let's move on to another challenging question that might come up.
Okay, so let's imagine they throw this one at you. How do you ensure electrical safety on job sites?
Okay, yeah, safety is obviously super important,
Huge.
but it feels like it's more than just knowing the rules, right?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, yeah, you got to know the regulations inside and out.
Of course.
But they want to see you're proactive about it, you know?
Yeah.
That you're really committed to making the site safe for everyone.
So it's not enough to just say, I follow all the OSHA guidelines.
Well, you should definitely mention those, but go deeper, you know?
Okay, so how do I do that?
Talk about how you build a culture of safety, you know?
Okay.
Like, do you have regular safety meetings?
Oh,
Toolbox talks. Do you actually, like, incentivize safe practices?
those are good.
Yeah, and you can talk about risk assessments before every task, making sure everyone's got the right PPE, how you handle hazardous materials.
So it's like showing them that safety is baked into every step of the process.
Yeah, exactly. It's part of your leadership. It's not just a checklist.
Gotcha. Okay, now this next question feels kind of scary. How do you approach budgeting and cost management for electrical projects?
Ooh, yeah, that one.
I'm not going to lie, budgeting's not my strong suit.
Happens to the best of us.
Can I just tell them I'm good at finding deals on supplies?
Well, being resourceful is great, but they're looking for something a little more, you know, big picture.
Okay, so like, I need to prove I can manage the money for a whole project.
Exactly. Talk about how you develop budgets, track expenses, find ways to save money.
Right.
But also, and this is important, how you balance all that with maintaining quality and safety.
Right, because you can't just cut corners to save a buck.
Exactly. You got to show them you're responsible with the money, but you're not going to compromise on the important stuff.
Okay, I can do that. Mention spreadsheets, project management software, all those tools.
That's the stuff. They want to see you're organized, you've got a system.
Okay, I feel more confident about that one now. What about working with other teams?
Oh, that always comes up. Construction's all about teamwork, you know?
Right, it's not like I'm just going to be working alone.
Not at all. So they might ask something like, how do you approach working with other trades on projects?
Oh, I know what to say for this one. I'm a great communicator.
That's a good start, for sure. But it's more than just talking, you know?
What else is there?
Well, think about coordination. Can you work effectively with other teams?
Yeah.
Respect their expertise? And ultimately, can you all pull together to get the job done?
So instead of just saying I'm a team player, I need to give them a real example.
A story, yeah. A time you had to, I don't know, resolve a scheduling conflict or adapt to a sudden change.
Ooh, I've got one. Remember that time the plumbing team drilled through a main conduit?
Oh, no.
Yeah, it was a mess. But we had to work together really quickly to reroute everything and keep the project on track.
Perfect example. That shows you can handle pressure, you can collaborate, you can solve problems on the fly.
Okay, that makes me feel better. But now I want to talk about what happens after the interview.
You mean after you ace it?
Of course.
No?
Let's talk career progression, promotions, the corner office.
All right, well, let's start with the basics. RoleCatcher's Guide. It talks about the typical career path for an electrical supervisor.
Okay.
And it usually starts with hands-on experience.
You mean I can't just walk in and demand to be the boss?
Probably not. Most people start as an electrician or a technician, get those years of experience under their belt.
Right. Learn the ropes?
Exactly. And then as you gain knowledge, you might move up to a junior supervisor role.
Okay.
And eventually, yeah, you land that electrical supervisor spot.
And then the sky's the limit.
Well, not quite the limit, but there are definitely options. You could become a senior supervisor, lead bigger teams, take on more strategic stuff.
Sounds kind of exciting.
It definitely can be. And you could specialize, maybe get into renewable energy or industrial automation.
So it's a job with a future, with room to grow.
Absolutely. And the best part is, the learning never really stops.
What do you mean?
The electrical industry is constantly evolving. There are always new technologies and techniques coming out.
So how do I make sure I keep up? Besides listening to this podcast, of course.
Well, that's a good start. But seriously, certifications are huge.
Certifications?
Yeah, they show you're committed to your career, that you're staying on top of things.
Okay, got it. Certifications on the to-do list. What else?
Remember all that soft skill stuff we talked about?
Yeah, leadership, communication, all that.
That becomes even more important as you move up the ladder.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Negotiation, persuasion, conflict resolution, being able to motivate your team.
So it's not enough to just be good with the wires. I got to be good with the people, too.
Exactly. And the good news is RoleCatcher can actually help you with that, too.
Oh, yeah.
Their AI can pinpoint those areas where you might need to, brush up on your soft skills.
Cool. And then it gives you tips.
Personalized feedback, yeah. It's like having a personal development coach built right into the platform.
Wow, that's pretty impressive. So RoleCatcher's not just about acing the interview. It's about the whole career journey.
That's exactly it. They're with you every step of the way.
All right, I'm sold. RoleCatcher it is. Now, before we move on, I'm curious. You've talked about all the amazing things you can do as an electrical supervisor.
Yeah.
But what about the challenges? I mean, it can't all be smooth sailing, right?
You're right. Every job has its tough moments.
I'm just imagining, like, a tangled mess of wires, a circuit that keeps blowing, maybe a squirrel chewing on a power cable.
Well, those things definitely happen. But the bigger challenges are often, more about the people side of things.
Okay, give it to me straight. What's the hardest part?
Well, managing a team of electricians can be tough. You've got to delegate effectively,
Right.
Keep everyone motivated, deal with conflicts, make sure everything's running smoothly and safely.
So it's like being a coach, a mentor, and a referee all at once.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And then you've got deadlines to meet, budgets to stick to, all while adhering to those strict safety regulations.
Sounds like a lot of pressure.
It can be, but it's also incredibly rewarding,
How so?
Well, when you see a project come together and you played a key role in making it happen safely and efficiently.
Okay, yeah, I can see that. So it's challenging, but also fulfilling.
Exactly. It's not for everyone, but if you're up for the challenge, it can be a great career.
All right, challenge accepted. Bring on the complex projects, the tight deadlines. I'm ready for it all.
That's the spirit. Just remember, preparation is key. And that's where RoleCatcher can really help you shine.
Okay, I'm definitely checking them out. This whole conversation has been so eye-opening. I feel like I have a totally different understanding of what it means to be an electrical supervisor.
That's great to hear. That's what we're here for.
And I'm really excited to see what the future holds for this industry.
Oh, yeah, me too. There's so much happening right now. It's an exciting time to be involved.
Well, I'm glad we had this chance to dive into it all.
Me too. It's been fun.
And in the next and final part of our deep dive, we're going to be talking about that future.
That's right. We'll explore those new technologies, those trends that are really shaping the electrical landscape, and we'll give you some tips on how to position yourself for success in this rapidly changing field.
I'm ready. Let's do it. All right. Welcome back to our deep dive into becoming an electrical supervisor.
Part 3.
Part 3, that's right. We've talked about the interview, the career path, those all-important soft skills.
Yep, we covered a lot.
We did. But now I want to look ahead, like what's next for this whole industry.
Oh, that's the fun part. Because the electrical industry is changing so fast right now.
Very.
Yeah, new technologies are coming out all the time, and there's a huge push for sustainability.
So it's not just about fixing lights anymore.
Not at all. Think about smart grids, renewable energy, buildings that are like super energy efficient.
That's pretty cool.
It is, and that's the future of this field.
Okay, but how do I make sure I'm a part of that future?
Well, first you got to stay curious, you know.
Right.
Keep learning about the new stuff, whether it's reading industry magazines, checking out online forums, going to conferences.
Ooh, conferences. I've always wanted to go to one of those.
They're great. You get to see all the latest tech, meet the experts, and RoleCatcher actually has some awesome resources on this stuff too.
They do?
Yeah, their career guides and skill guides cover everything from solar panels to energy storage.
Wow. So it's like going beyond just knowing how to wire a circuit.
Yeah,
It's understanding the whole energy landscape.
exactly. That's what'll make you stand out as a leader in this field.
Okay, knowledge is power. What else?
Networking is huge.
Networking. Like with other electricians.
Yep. Go to those conferences, join online groups, talk to people who are pushing the boundaries of what's possible in this industry.
I had no idea electricians even did that. It's like a whole secret society of like electrical innovators.
It's more like a community, really. Everyone sharing ideas and helping each other grow.
Okay, that sounds amazing. And RoleCatcher can help me find those people.
Oh, yeah. They can connect you with all sorts of organizations and events in your area.
This is incredible. I came into this deep dive just wanting to ace an interview, but now I'm like, I want to change the world.
That's awesome. And that's what's so great about this field, you know? It's not just a job, it's a chance to be a part of something bigger.
You're right. I'm feeling inspired.
That's what we like to hear. So, as we wrap things up here,
Okay.
just remember, the key is to never stop learning, stay curious, and get involved in that amazing electrical community.
I will. This has been an incredible journey, honestly.
It's been fun talking to you.
I've learned so much from you and about RoleCatcher, and honestly, I'm feeling really excited about the future.
That's awesome. We're glad we could help.
And for all of you listening out there, I hope you feel that excitement too, because the electrical industry is booming, there's so much opportunity, and if you're willing to put in the work, you can achieve anything.
Absolutely. So go out there, grab your tools, and let's build a brighter, more sustainable future together.
That's a wrap on this deep dive. Thanks for tuning in.